Hello, thank you for joining us for the Shop Newsmakers, where we chat with movers and shakers and thought leaders from the automotive aftermarket and beyond. I'm your host, Anthony Bowe, and today we are joined by Josh Hertzing of 3P Off-Road in Tomball, Texas, which is 20 miles northwest of Houston. I first met Josh on the phone last year in August in harrowing circumstances as he was dealing with the flooding going on in Houston. He was really weary and tired because he hadn't had much sleep as his shop transformed from a typical off-road and truck shop into a full rescue and recovery effort down near Houston. He gave me about 45 minutes on the phone, and it turned into an article that we printed in the shop e-newsletter. If you would like to read that article, it is in a link below this video. Go ahead and click that to read the whole story. I'm going to talk with Josh right now on Skype about his experiences from the flood, as well as learn a little bit more about his shop and any projects he might have going on right now. So thanks for joining us. Here we go. Hey Josh, how's it going?
Good, man. How about yourself?
Doing well. What do you have going on today?
Just another beautiful day down here in Texas. We've been having some late nights getting ready for the Mint 400. This is our first try on that one.
Cool.
We're going out there. We're racing in the pro production UTV class, so we're gonna have a RZR out there that we're racing with. So.
And you raced in the Baja 1000, right?
Yep. Yeah, we went down to Baja. We're just some guys down here in Houston, and we do a lot of mud racing stuff, and we're just trying to, change it up a little bit and go to the West Coast and, try our best against those guys over there.
Nice. How'd you guys do at the Baja 1000?
We actually finished. We got 17th out there, and It was an awesome experience.
Nice. How long have you guys been doing that?
The desert racing stuff,
Yeah.
Baja was our first time.
It was? Wow.
Yeah, first time. We went out there and just kind of, went out there with another team of ours out of Havasu called Rockstar Customs, and went out there with them, and we actually, we finished it. We had a great time.
Cool.
Learned a lot.
For those that don't know your story, explain a little bit about how you guys went from a normal off-road and truck shop into commanding a huge force of volunteers and pulling people out of the water.
Yeah, we bought a 5-ton military vehicle from a government auction about maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, and really know what to do with it. And we took it out, to some of the events and kind of partied with it, took it to the beach, stuff like that. Well, we had some floods down here in Houston about 6 to 8 months before Hurricane Harvey, and we just we knew it was capable in high water, and we had a bunch of high water UTVs and boats, stuff like that. So we started helping people out there, and the way we were networking on people to actually help them was social media. We'd make a Facebook post, Instagram post, and they would, contact us and go from there.
Right.
And that worked out pretty well. So when Harvey hit, we started doing the same thing. We got ready. We started getting people out of a neighborhood over here, and we ended up meeting the lieutenant governor out there, he was out there picking up his son-in-law. So we met him, and he ended up making our shop like the center for our side of Houston to rescue people and accept donations and have volunteers come help us. So we ended up getting a lot of people. Yeah, it was a tough time, but we didn't, we really couldn't run our business at that point. Half the city was flooded, so we didn't really have much to do, and we had all the tools to do it. So kind of let the adrenaline take over and just kind of did it. We really couldn't sit there and watch people suffer without doing anything about it. We were doing rescues for about 3 to 4 weeks, and then after that, we still had, we ended up pushing all the vehicles out of the shop and putting them in the back, and we had the whole shop full of supplies that people had, donated.
Wow.
So then after people didn't really need help getting rescued, then they still needed water, they still needed clothes, food, blankets, stuff like that. So then we were taking donations in, and then we were using our personal trucks and the big 5-ton truck to take them to churches and other places like that. From what I was told, we got about 3,200 people out of homes and out of the water.
Goodness.
And I had people sleeping on the floors of my shop, volunteers, and just people that needed stuff, just sleeping on the floor.
Right.
Like, it was tough financially. You know what I mean? It was definitely tough, and we're finally we didn't see it at first. It took a while for us to really see how bad it impacted us. But I still feel like it was worth it. We didn't have any other choice at that time. Well, the only thing I really noticed more recently was the amount of supplies and stuff that we used. We went through just I'm talking from small necessities like toilet paper to soap, to nuts and bolts. We were trying to fix volunteers' vehicles. We're just grabbing everything we can and just kind of getting it going. You know what I mean? Just to get stuff moving again.
Sure. Talk to me about how important your social media properties were to your shop before the storm hit.
Before we were just posting cool pictures, trying to get some attention of our customers like everybody else. When the storm hit, it became instead of just like a fun little novelty, it became a necessity because a lot of our phone lines, we only have 2 phone lines and they were busy. And my little brother Travis, his cell phone was ringing like nonstop. I think there was one point he put his phone down for 30 minutes and he had like 300 missed calls.
Oh my gosh.
His phone would die so fast because we didn't have a charger most of the time. His phone would die so fast that the only way to was to pretty much use other people's phones to get on social media and figure out who needed help until we got more organized. We've actually had a lot of impact out of the community. We've had school classes bring us thank you cards, stuff like that. We're always asked to go to the parades and stuff now to bring the 5-ton out there. So I think we got a parade tomorrow in a neighborhood over here for Little League. That we're going to go out and just kind of drive the truck around for a minute. I think the whole community is a little bit closer in general. You know what I mean? Just person to person, even if it's a stranger. I think people, everybody went through the same tragedy. So I think people are a little bit closer in general. Other than that, business is starting to pick back up again. People are starting to spend money on pleasure activities again. Because most of them are done fixing their homes and getting their lives back together. So it's starting to pick up. We've been busy. It's been good. I mean, people drive by nonstop and honk during the day just because they know who we are now. You know what I mean? It's just a little bit of helping, to actually have everybody know who we are and, know we're not always the guys in the loud lifted trucks that are, obnoxious and stuff like that. We're actually decent people. So that worked out pretty.
Right. You guys have been open for almost 5 years. Is that right?
I think July will be 5 years.
Okay. How did you guys decide to open 3P Off-Road?
Well, we've always kind of done it as a hobby, and we had some buddies that were doing, the mud racing stuff, which this was, early 2000s, so nobody had aftermarket parts. Really, you kind of had to make them, yourself, like the old days of motocross. You had to, make your own parts, and, it's the same truck stuff. You couldn't just buy something off the shelf. So, they were making parts, and we started hanging out, and then we started doing the same kind of thing with them. And it was always kind of a hobby, and we were working in the oil field, and the oil field down here is kind of a roller coaster ride up and down. So pretty much, I got tired of it, and we were so busy at the house, doing stuff out of the garage that one of our buddies came over, and he's a businessman. He has a lot of small businesses, and he's very successful with it. And he was telling us, he's like, man, I'm watching what you're doing. Like, if you did this full time, like, you guys could make it, because we had vehicles that we would work on the side, and we had like 2 or 3 storage units, so we'd have to drive around the storage and go get them, and then our home life is suffering, of course, because we're working on UTVs all night and then day jobs during the day. So we finally just took a leap, and we didn't know if it would work, and so far so good.
Have you been at that specific shop that you're in right now for 5 years?
Yes. This is our first building. It's actually funny. I grew up working at this used to be my dad's shop. He owned the property. So I grew up in this shop, when I was, I think I was 5-6 years old when we moved into the shop.
Oh, wow.
I grew up working on it, working here in this building. And then, he pretty much sold it off, and then I saw it come back up. So, we took a chance and picked it up.
That's great. What did he do at that shop?
He did cars. He did an automotive repair.
Okay.
He had 3 or 4 car shops, and he's since retired.
Okay.
And now he has radio shows and does newspaper for automotive.
So you own 3P Off-Road with your brother, Travis Hertzing, and your best friend, Russell Coker.
Yep.
How do you guys make that work and share duties?
We just, everybody kind of has their own job, and just like every shop, where 1 minute we're yelling at each other, almost fist fighting, the next minute we're friends again. It's a shop environment, so everybody just kind of tries to do their part. And we got some awesome guys that work here with us, so we get it done.
What does your target customer look like down there?
And that's the crazy part is it's this industry. It could be an 18-year-old kid riding a four-wheeler through the mud. It could be, we got a bunch of ranchers, hunters, people that use it for pleasure and people who use it for work. We got some oil field guys and some companies that do survey work, take these things out there, and they need them every day.
Mm-hmm. How big is the shop, and how many people do you employ?
3,500 square foot. We've got a Razor pulling off right now. It's 3,500 square foot, and there's 5 of us.
How many vehicles do you guys work on at any given time?
We usually keep on average 30 to 50 on location. Right now, we're kind of getting into the busier season. The weather's getting better, and people are getting over the flood situation. So, we're pretty busy right now. We'll probably have, today's Friday, so it's a busy day. We'll probably have 10 to 12 leave today, on average. And then, Monday, people will take them out this weekend and break them, and then we'll have 10 to 12 show up on Monday. So,
So I think the number one complaint from business owners is how difficult it is to attract and keep talent in the shop specifically. What are your thoughts on that from your perspective?
It's really hard to do. It's really, really hard to do. We've had, 8 guys over here, and now we're back to the same core. One of our guys, Cody's been here since we pretty much opened the doors. And then his cousin Greg worked over here back when my dad had the shop here. When he was working on cars, he worked over here. Nobody wants to work. Everybody just wants to show up to work and just get a paycheck. Nobody wants to actually earn the paycheck anymore. It's tough to find people that that care about it and just want to do good work. It's hard to describe, and it's funny because I have a bunch of friends that own custom shops in the area that do trucks and stuff like that, and they they're the same way. They're just it's hard to find people.
Yeah.
Good people.
What do you think it's going to take from you guys to keep it going another 5 or even 10 and onward?
We're just going to keep on doing what we do and just, try to do good work at a good price and, try to stay on top of our competitors and, hopefully the market stays where it is and everybody's making some money, the oil field picks up and so far so good. We're looking good on it. We actually have a real dyno here. So most of those guys have to come over and dyno their personal stuff. So, we race against each other and stuff like that. So we end up having a pretty good relationship at the end of the day. If I need I could give, I could call one of them and they'll call me and we'll swap stuff out. The way it used to be back in the day. It's actually good. It's been a weird time on projects. People haven't been doing a lot of big builds. We haven't been doing a lot of custom stuff, been doing a lot of repairs and, maintenance. But it's starting to become riding season and people are starting to spend money again. So I feel like we'll have some new stuff coming up pretty soon. We just been focusing on all the racing stuff.
Are you behind the wheel for all those races?
Yep. I drive with 2 other co-drivers, and then my little brother drives also. So, when it's an endurance race, we're running 700, 400, 700 miles, we end up switching off so you don't, wear yourself out too much, make mistakes.
Right. Do you do a little rock, paper, scissors to decide who starts the race? Or
I'm older, and I think I spent more money on it, so I'll get first dibs.
Fair enough. That makes sense. Thank you so much for taking some time for us, and hope to have you on Newsmakers again at some point.
Anytime, man. I'm always here. You let me know.
Awesome. Thanks, Josh. All right. That was Josh Hertzing with 3P Off-Road. Thank you guys so much for joining us for the Shop Newsmakers, and hope you join us again next time.